how to avoid stress and burnout in what we do as engineers and project managers and engineering firms. And, if you ever feel like you're just stressed out all the time, and eventually sometimes you'll even get to where you just get burnt out, just don't want to do this anymore. And do you ever get that feeling? Do you ever know if anybody else who gets that feeling? Or do you see people always stressed out? Or is it what you used to know them a couple years ago? They were always happy and giddy and just loved coming to work. And now today they just seem like, oh man, it's just, I'm here, I'll do my job, and can't wait till that 5 o'clock bell goes off so I can go home, So you notice anybody like that? Are you like that? Are you stressed out? Are you burnt out? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how to avoid being so stressed out that you eventually get to the point of being burnt out. Let's talk about it in this video. As engineers and project managers and engineering firms, stress comes with the job. You're always being stressed. You're always being pressured to get the job done as quickly as possible, to put the high quality work together, to get the job done and out the door so they can go build it or do what have you with your designs. And day in, day out, we deal with this stress, day in, day out. And the better you get at your job, the more they expect of you. And it just gets that stress keep building up more and more. And you just keep wishing that, man, if I had just some more time, I could handle all this. I could stretch it out. 8 hours in a day is not enough. 12 hours in a day is not enough. Heck, I could be here 24 hours in a day and never sleep and still wouldn't have enough time to do all my work. Does that sound familiar as a project engineer or a project manager? Well, it has for my career, and I've been doing it for a long, long time, and it's always been a stressful job, but there's been a lot of rewards in doing it. But the worst part of stress is that when you have so much stress, you move from, I wish I had more time, to where there ain't nothing I can do about it, okay? And that's when you start to burn out. When you burn out is when you just don't care anymore. And if for an engineer that doesn't care, that's bad news, because a lot of mistakes can happen at that point. And we don't want to ever get to the point of burnout. It's also why a lot of engineers probably quit the profession, because of the reason they just burn out. And they work so hard and so many hours and been under so much stress and very little reward for doing so, they burn out. We try to stop that by avoiding too much stress and definitely trying to avoid burnout. So I'm going to talk about some of those things, and hopefully you get some pointers, especially if you feel like you're way too stressed out, don't have enough time to do everything, or if you're reaching that point of being burnt out. Hopefully some of these pointers that I'm giving here will help you and kind of help pull back a little bit and get you more relaxed and get you back into doing that engineering work. So let's talk about the first one. First, you need to get enough sleep. For engineers, we know there's 24 hours in a day. That's every day. That's the way it is, 24 hours a day. Maybe except for when they change the clock. Sometimes it's 23 and sometimes it's 25 just for that one night. But overall, it's 24 hours. So that 24 hours, you got to work. You have to work at least 8 hours, so that takes that down to 16. You got to eat some, so there's 3 or 4 hours there. So that takes that down to about 12 hours. And then, you keep subtracting all the hours out. Well, there's not much left there. But what you need to make sure you do is to get those 8 hours of sleep. Now, for some people, they don't need 8 hours. I know when I sleep 8 hours, I feel when I wake up that I feel worse than I did when I went to bed. So it's a little bit less for me when I go to sleep. I need about 6 to 7 hours of sleep, and I feel pretty good when I wake up. Other people, 8 hours isn't enough. They may need a few more hours, maybe 9 or 10 hours. Well, that's each person, as you can see, is different, but you need to get roughly 8 hours of sleep every night. Why is this so important to get your sleep? Well, at night, our body does things, and this is why we need to go into deep sleep. And it need enough time while you're sleeping to that happen, that deep sleep, where your body is producing hormones and chemical reactions within your body to kind of rejuvenate itself. If you don't get the adequate number of hours of sleep, well, your body doesn't rejuvenate overnight. And so then it begins to wear down and wear down and wear down. If you do this enough times over a course of weeks or months, you eventually get to where you just exhausted. You can't work, no matter how much sleep you get. And that's why we do those vacations every year. But you need to get roughly 8 hours of sleep every night. That's a very important factor. So if you don't want to be so stressed out all the time, get your sleep, okay? Don't worry about it so much. I know you've been getting value out of this video, so please do me a little favor and go down below right there and subscribe to our channel. Also, I would like for you to go way over there and hit that bell so you'll be notified every time we upload a new video. You'll want to see our videos. They're only about 6 to 12 minutes long, and they cover everything from engineering, project engineering to project management. So please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. The next thing that also that we as engineers do is we tend to say yes to everything. Give me more work. Give me more work. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that calculation. Yeah, I can do so many things you just keep saying yes to. Eventually you get to the point of it, you're just overwhelmed with work, and you created your own workload that is overwhelming for you. So you need to understand how long it takes to do a job, how long it takes to do a certain task. Can you get that done within the amount of time you have at work? And then if you can't, you might want to say no, in a polite way, of course, is say, look, I'm really overworked as I am right now. Can you go talk to someone else that maybe they have more time to do that? Especially if it's kind of an easy task, like doing some calculations on a piece of software. Somebody underneath you could do that job, and maybe they could do it quicker than you can. Who knows? But or maybe they need some training in that some way or another, which kind of leads to delegating. When you bring onto jobs onto you that you're expected to do, well, you may have some other people work underneath you, especially as a project engineer. You have a whole team under you. So delegate that work off to them. Get it away from you. Don't pile up so much work on yourself that it becomes you're spending your entire waking hours at the office trying to do all this work and get it done on time and on schedule. So learn to say no. No is a very important word to use. So try to use that word as much as you can when needed. Another important thing that to avoid stress and especially burnout is to eat. Okay. I found that some people, they stay in the office all day long, never stopping to do anything, not even go get a drink of water at the water fountain. It's kind of impressive at first, but it really doesn't do your body any good. You need to be able to eat breakfast in the morning. Okay. That may mean a glass of milk and a piece of toast, but you need to get something into your system so your body starts working a little bit on digesting food. Then it's no problem having a snack between breakfast and lunch, to go out and, get some peanuts or something, not necessarily sweets, but something that's protein or something. Just get something to bite on. And so your body can kind of work on that a little bit, and it gets it going, gets those fluids in your body running. And when it comes time to lunch, you don't necessarily want a heavy lunch. You want something kind of light. But also it's to get out of the office for a while, and you could take a little break, get your brain on something else, get your eyes looking at something else besides your computer and your desk. You want to take a little bite of something, and that's good for you and healthy for you, not none of those bad things, those sweets and stuff, the soda pops and all that. We don't call them soda pops anymore. We call them Cokes and Diet Cokes and all that stuff. Try to drink healthy things like water and juice. And when you get off, and then between lunch and time you get off work, have another little snack, have another little protein bar or something, and just to keep the energy going in your body. If you break up those 3 main meals that we used to eat all the time to 5 a day, well, it's better for the body to do that, and it helps lower that stress. It relaxes you. It gets your mind off of everything at work and kind of gets you to think outside the box a little bit, get your brain going in a different direction for a while, and it helps relieve the stress, okay? And then when that 5 o'clock comes, or 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever time you like getting off from work, then you go home, relax a little bit, maybe watch your favorite TV program, have a nice dinner right a couple hours after work, and relax there. And then a couple hours later, then go to bed and then go to sleep. So these are some of the things that help release the stress that we have. Now, the next important thing is that, we're eating healthy, we're sleeping great, okay, but there's something else that you need to do, and that's to have a little bit of a workout routine. I mean, the federal government says we need to work out a little bit, at least 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. Well, I don't think they mean that we have to go out and do like a triathlon or something like that for 30 minutes, run 20 miles or something every other day. But what they're talking about is just getting out and walking and nothing else. I try to do it every day at work. My break time, I go for a long walk. In 20, 30 minutes, go around a big long block, actually about 2 or 3 blocks around my office, and walk back, and boy, I feel a whole lot better. I get to think about work and rearranging things and what my priorities are for the rest of the day. And then when I get back into the office, boy, I feel energized. I feel excited to be back into the office and creating some more videos or what have you, but also doing engineering work. And I just feel better after a long walk. And most people don't even know I even left because, it's only 15, 20 minutes to go around and walk. And you get back into the office, you just feel good. And it's those last few hours of the day, you're just energized and ready to go for it. So just exercising 3 times a week will do you a lot of good and relieve a lot of stress. Some people actually go out to the gym and do nothing else but get out one of those big giant gym balls and just bounce them off a wall or whatever, and just doing something to get your body active again, moving around, getting those arms out there, kicking the legs. Just do something and get your body active. You were meant to walk. All humans are. We're meant to move. We're meant to get out there and lift things. We're not meant to sit at a chair behind a computer for 8-10 hours a day. That's not really what our bodies are meant to do. So that's why you got to get up and exercise a little bit. Now, some of the things you can do just around your work area to lower that stress is actually is to clean your desk off, okay? To get organized. Put one project at a time on your desk and put everything else in a drawer, in a file. Put it away. And work on one project at a time. Have your to-do list here so you know what you got to work on. But as you work down that to-do list, you just take that item out and you work on it till it's done, or at least to a point where it's at a stopping point, and then pick out the next project. Put that file away and put the next one on. Whenever you're working at a desk, like sometimes I work on a project and it's big giant folders, thick, and everything, and the papers in the folder all kind of start sliding over while I'm working on my keyboard, and then first thing I know, these papers in the folder start sliding onto my keyboard. I hate that. Okay, it's not good. Now I'm pushing the files back over and back into the. Eventually, I take the whole folder, pick it up, and put it in the drawer and just take out the section of the folder I need to work on for that moment. I don't need the whole folder. So those are some of the things that you need to do is get organized. Have your desk looking nice and neat. When your clients come in or so your coworkers come into your office, they see this guy he's organized. Man, his desk is cleared and he's studying on one thing, and that sets an impression. Plus, it helps you a lot to relieve stress because your mind's thinking, I only got one thing to work on in front of me. It doesn't really think about all the other things that you have on your to-do list. Now, one of the other things, no matter what you do, stress is there always, and you have to deal with it, okay? No matter how many different ways of trying to avoid it, it's going to be there. So sometimes after a while of doing work and you having all this stress and you're at the work, your body starts talking to you in strange ways. I have found that just yesterday I was trying to do some work and I just could not creatively think anything. My mind was not in it at all. And I tried to get up and go walk around for a little bit and come back. Still wasn't there. I tried to go get something to eat, get some protein in my body. Still not there. I just could not think clearly. I could not concentrate on what I was doing. And so when that happens, as I did yesterday, I just took a vacation, you might say. I just got up and went away for a while and just relax myself and get it back into it. And then today, here I am, and I am just as creative as I have ever been. I just did a whole bunch of work in my office, cleaned out everything that I was supposed to do yesterday. It's done now, but in a matter of a few hours, I was done. But 4 hours yesterday, I couldn't hardly do anything because I just wasn't in it, and just because the stress was there, and I wasn't thinking clearly. And so when you see your body talking to you like that, you've got to respond to it. You have to say, okay, you know better than I do. Let's go take a little break. Just don't do that every day, okay? But to listen to your body, it's really, really important to do it. It knows what it needs. If your stomach is growling and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning, a few hours after you got to work, well, maybe you need to go get a protein bar or something. You don't need a full meal, but maybe just a little protein. Maybe your mouth is extremely dry. Maybe you need to get up and go get something to drink, a glass of water or something. Listen to the body. It's telling you what it needs. And if you do that, it'll help lower a lot of that stress that you're feeling and keep that burnout from happening. And next thing that I would recommend for trying to lower that stress and keep from burnout is to try to have some fun, okay? Have fun at work. Your work family, as I call them, everybody at work, we spend 8-10 hours a day, at least 5 days a week with these individuals. They are part of our lives, and just working all the time, well, it gets kind of boring, but everybody's just doing their jobs. But occasionally coming in and just trying to do something a little different that's a little fun, challenge everybody to do something, whatever that may be. You want to have fun at work, and whatever that may be, to have a little challenge, a little game going on, maybe even sometimes an office pool on the football games or things like that. Different things that you can do to inject a little fun into the office. The women like certain things that they like. The guys like certain things that interests them, that's different from the normal routine of engineering work. And even women and guys also have shared interests in things. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It could be like, hey, tomorrow afternoon, we're going to shut the office down for about 4 hours, and we're going to go down to the park, and we're going to have a little exercise that we want to do and see who can outdo everybody else at this. And just challenge everybody. The 4 hours that you took off from work to do that will probably pay back in multiple dividends to you and the company, because then people come back, they're happy, they're energized, they've participated in something together that's totally different from engineering. These are fun things to do, but don't do them too often, but do them enough that it kind of re-energizes the team and gets them excited to go back to work again and get their minds refreshed and relieve that stress and get them back to working again, including yourself. Now, the next thing is, and probably one of those important things is to go on vacation. Vacation is super important. Every company just about gives a 2-week vacation, but I have found that many employees don't take their full 2 weeks, especially engineers. They think that we have to be at work all the time, doing our work, doing the calculations. If I'm not there, timelines are not met, the budgets are not met, I can't take a vacation. I'm so important that I am indispensable. Well, that's not true. If you're that case, you need to do a better job at delegating down to your team, a better job at training the people that works below you to do your job for you. Because if you're the only person who can do your job, you can never leave that office. And that's not what you want to be able to do. Vacation's important. And when you're on vacation, be on vacation. Okay, what does that mean? If you're going to go down to spend a week at a lake, spend a week at a lake. Get out there with a lawn chair, throw some fishing lines into the lake. Don't care if you catch a fish or not. Just relax. Get your mind off of work and enjoy it. Put out a campfire, sing some songs with your family, whatever it may be. I mean, if you want to go to the beach on California coast or in the Gulf of Mexico or the East Coast, if you want to go to Hawaii, whatever you want to do it. Okay? But be on vacation. If you're going to go to Disneyland, go to Disneyland. Go to Disney World. Go to Six Flags, Universal Studios, any place you want to go. But get your mind off of work when you're on vacation. Do that, and it's going to relieve a lot of stress. And when you come back to work, you want to come back to work feeling energized and happy to be there and excited. You know the work's going to be waiting for you, but you're going to have the energy to pick it up and get it back on pace. So really important to take vacations. And finally, if all else fails and the stress has gotten to you so much, you can't handle it anymore. You do not have the time to do everything. All the work you're doing, you've tried everything I just mentioned, and none of that's working for you. You've reaching burnout. You feel like there ain't nothing you can do anymore. It's just not worth it. I hate with all of this. Well, go seek some professional help. Counseling. This is a danger zone. You get into that. A lot of terrible things can happen to people when they're so stressed out and burnt out. They get into depression, and I've seen it many times in my profession, people that don't show up to work one day because something very, very terrible happened. And don't let that be you, okay? Go seek out professional counseling. This will do a lot of help and get you back on track, get you talking about whatever it is that's bothering you. Don't ever hold it all up into yourself and let it build up so large that you do something bad and something terrible. That many of your friends and family and coworkers will hate to see happen. And don't do that, and don't ever get to that point. Before you ever do, seek out that professional counseling. And also, listen to all the points I gave. Have some fun at work. Enjoy what we do. Get some sleep, the necessary sleep that you need, 8 hours, whatever it is, 6 to 10 hours of sleep. Just make sure you schedule it properly. Go to bed early and get up early so you can come back to work. Go out and eat a little bit. Get something in your body. Get yourself energized. Go do some workouts. Go walking at least. Go do something with other people. Get a friend at the office and let's go for a walk, for a mile walk. And then we get back to the office. You're energized to go. Bring some tennis shoes to work so you can take your dress shoes off, put your tennis shoes on, and go for that walk. You know, whatever it needs to be, just change things up. You as a leader of your group, go ahead and sponsor a little competition, a little tournament every once in a while. Get them out and get them to have some fun. And then you'll see the dividends will happen. The stress will lower, the productivity will increase, and it'll become a lot easier. As an engineer, as a project engineer, you can do this. As a project manager, you can do it also. Relieve those stresses. I know you've been getting value out of this video, so please go right over there and subscribe to our channel. Also, you'll see right over there and right down there 2 videos that we recommend that you watch next out of our series of videos. So please keep on growing as an engineer, as a project engineer, and as a project manager in our profession. So until the next video, we'll see you then.